Hey there, it's Shauna. Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast for October 8th. This week is about new moon motivations because, of course, we have a new moon, but also I think you're going to feel really energized this week. We have some interesting dynamic aspects going on in the astrology, and I'm excited to share it with you. As always, I have 3 tips for you to make the most out of this week. Let's get into it. We have a new moon in the sign of Libra on Monday. It's exact at 8:47 p.m. Pacific time at 15 degrees of Libra. And so new moon's always a time of initiation, of something starting, of a metaphorical birth process beginning. It's the time of inception. And so this being in the sign of Libra, it's about Libra kind of things. Libra is about relationships, balance, harmony, justice, beauty, and aesthetics. So Libra is about aesthetics because it's about like finding what is pleasing to our eye, what we find alluring, what we find magnetizing. And this, of course, leads to relationships. It's like, okay, how are we magnetized towards something? And then how do we find that delicate balance to remain in relationship to that thing, whether it's a situation or a person or a place? So new beginnings around all of those things. The other piece of this, that's the second part of this week, is the sun is going to square Pluto this week. And so that means that this new moon has a Plutonian kind of flavor to it. So it's not just that the sun is squaring Pluto, there's also a new moon, a new beginning involving Pluto kind of things. Pluto is about power, it's about like a hunger for achievement, and it's also about digging deep into your unconscious motives. Some people would call this the shadow, and Pluto can typically take on a negative connotation, but it doesn't need to be that way. I think that we can look at it as, especially with the sun squaring Pluto, the sun is about your personal identity, who you are as an individual and what you have to share that's special in this world, what makes you unique and your personality special, what animates you. So that is coming into an aspect that is that's challenging with Pluto. So this can look like your sense of self-identity being challenged and strengthened, your sense of self being challenged and strengthened. And so it can look, a lot of times this looks like needing to stand up for yourself, or looking at how it is that that you're in relationships where you require other people to stand up for themselves in your presence, or you're called to stand up for yourself in some way. Because it's really about power dynamics. How do you have power? How do other people have power? And how does that all work together when you're in the same room together? The other piece of this week is Mercury will oppose Uranus. So Mercury has just moved into the early degrees of Scorpio. That means it's opposite Uranus and Taurus. So Mercury is about critical thinking. It's about your communication process. Uranus is about surprise events. It's about breaking a system, trying something new. So what this really means is it could literally be unexpected and new news and information, something inspiring that just like snaps into place for you. It could also look like, because it's an opposition, it could also feel like your idea of something is being challenged, and maybe you're being asked to think about things outside the status quo. Uranus is also about breaking the mold of the status quo. So I would really notice for that, like if there's something that like you're being called to think about something outside the box, or something is presented to you that's outside of the box, I would really look at that and be aware. So tips for you for this week. Tip number 1 is these all kind of work together, so I'm going to give them kind of rapid fire. I highly suggest avoiding power struggles this week. Anything that you can do to avoid that is good. Of course, you need to honor your values. That's tip number 2. And number 3 is to pick your battles. So I mean, only you know what's going on in your life and what's right for you. A part of this week is that it is important to honor your values and to say what needs to be said when it needs to be said, to have a strong sense of self. The other piece of this week, though, is to really be conscientious about picking your battles. And are you going into something to prove a point or to exert yourself? When is that going to be helpful or useful to the situation? Is it necessary? Or is it, what's your motivation for doing this? Is it strengthening for you, or is it getting you sucked into drama? These are all very Plutonian kind of questions that I'm asking you. So those are the 3 tips for this week. Avoid power struggles, honor your values. We're still in Venus retrograde period, and pick your battles. So with that being said, I will pull a card for you. So this is just meant to be inspiration and guidance for the week. So if there's a situation that is coming up that you want to think about, you can focus your energy on that, or just relax and connect with your breathing as you get ready to pick a card. Okay. All right. Oh, interesting. Okay. This card is strangely appropriate. So I pulled the 5 of Wands. And so this card, a few different things. These people are all in conflict with each other. So they're all kind of like trying to make their own way. So this card is really about conflict. It's about like being in the battle and being in the struggle. And the interesting thing with this card is that it's not life and death struggle. It's more about like playing the game kind of battles, I think is what I would say. Because some people say that you could look at this card and also see it as several people playing a game, and that it's not necessarily adversarial in a serious way, that it's adversarial in like a competitive kind of way. And so I would notice what speaks to you. Is there a certain are there situations this week where you could kind of flip your thinking about it? Like, is it really adversarial, or do you just need to play the game, so to speak, to navigate through this? And what are the rules of that game, etc.? But I think definitely like there's this theme around conflict / competitiveness, and how do you do what you need to do to be in this environment and to not be agitated, to like hold your own. I think that's what I would say about this card. So that is your horoscope for the week. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please share it with a friend who you think would enjoy it too. And if you want to connect with me more, you can find me on Instagram under Neo-Feminine Astrology. If you are interested in my course, Astrology for Empaths, it is starting this week, and I'm really excited. You can still join us. We start on Tuesday, and then if for some reason you can't join us, that's okay. It will be it'll be recorded, and I'll have the recordings available after the completion of the course so that you can get it anytime. That's all for now. Until next time, I'll see you next week. Namaste.